are kind of snobby and like think that like their neighborhood belongs to them. So here, like it's a weird vibe with them. But my neighbor's Portuguese and my other two neighbors are black, and we're all cool. We love each other. We all cool with each other. We help each other. We talk to each other. When a hurricane comes, we make sure we check on each other. But then my white Canadian neighbor over here,
Peace, love,
he's a
health, and love
barbarian.
vibe tribe.
He's
Like and
already
subscribe.
popping
Help your
off
boy
with
break away from that 9 to 5. I am KP, and I am broadcasting this very special live on behalf of Sacred Center, a sacred self healing center where the heart is the center for healing. Okay, that video you just seen was just Marky Mark's Tarot. Make sure you go check out Marky Mark's Tarot. It's all love. Shout out to Marky Mark. All right, so we have the Libra um, full moon reading. The full moon is in Scorpio. This is affectionately known as the flower moon because of the rest. Libra full moon. I just type Libra full moon in there. Let's get some hearts in the chat. Because the rest of the so typically this is around the time where we, you know, count last frost, etc., 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 right? So thank you for pulling up. Let's get some Libra emojis in there so we can get in the algorithm, because I am not in the algorithm for astrology, and I need to do this weekly. I need to do like, I don't know, every weekend. I need to do every sign. I want to do every sign once a week. All right. So since we got a few people here, even if your sun sign isn't Libra, right, that doesn't mean that you won't be influenced by Libra one way or another. Okay. So you can always hit me up for a birth chart reading. I don't think I would say is that when we do birth chart readings, we get very deep and meticulous. All right. And it takes time, especially if you want me to coach you through it. It takes time. It takes a lot of time. It's a lot of language barriers and stuff like that. So, yeah. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, Libra. So actually, before we get started with the cards and everything, I actually want to do my favorite part of the video in the beginning of the video, okay? And actually, that's the affirmations and journal prompts, okay? I think that putting that at the end would be a waste of time because a lot of people probably wouldn't stay that long, right? So I think we should get the important part out the way. And if you don't want affirmations and journal prompts, you can go ahead and skip forward a couple minutes, okay? So before we get this into the cards, let's get started with intention. The full moon is the time to reflect, renew, and rise. Okay? So here's the affirmation to do so. All right. I am shedding old layers. I am becoming my true self. All right. Now, let's take a deep breath and then you repeat after me, okay? I am shedding my old layers. I am becoming my true self. I am shedding my old layers. I am becoming my true self. I am shedding my old layers. I am becoming my true self. Right? And I want you to just take a couple deep breaths and let that visualization of things washing away and you becoming that new and improved person, and just let that marinate in your spirit for a second, right? And so as you come out of that, you can take your time, right? But I want us to make sure we have a pen and a pad ready so we can write down this journal prompt. And I encourage people to please, please, please share the journal prompt in the comments of the video once the live is over, because it can help encourage people who might not even write um, to write and heal and to open up and to begin to what's called scribing and getting into the flow state. And it's something very magical about that because you are able to look at yourself subjectively versus, I mean, objectively versus subjectively, right? So the journal prompt is as read, okay? What is the deepest fear I have been avoiding, and how can I step into it with courage? What is the deepest fear I have been avoiding, and how can I step into it with courage? So when you write this, I want you to be open and honest, right? I don't want you to try to write the politically correct answers, right? I want you to be raw and open. Um Again, these journal prompts and these affirmations is meant for you to get closer to you, right? By way of you. For us, for us, by us, right? Whatever, whatever. All right, so let's go ahead and get to the cards, okay? So we have the number 21 of the Spirit Animal Oracle deck, okay? And we already know that the number 3, when you combine 2 and 1 together, denotes growth and expansion. And oftentimes it's growth and expansion through communication and teamwork, okay? Um, the turtle is your sacred slow burn. Listen to me closely. It teaches you to trust the pace of your progress. You may not be racing, but you are moving with wisdom. With every step, you're building something lasting. All right. Remember, patience is power. And right now, the power is in your persistence. Okay. So let me pull the book up. What's up, Nightbot? And pull up the number 21 card. I can't believe I still haven't even seen all of these. All right, so the symbolism of the tortoise. It is associated with the concept of patience, persistence, stability, and longevity. Let's delve into the concept of advance steadily, even if slowly, in the context of the tortoise. All right. So number one is going to be patience and persistence. Tortoises are known for their slow and steady pace. When we receive the message of the tortoise, we're encouraged to cultivate patience and persistence in pursuing our goals. Even if progress may seem slow or difficult, consistency in pursuing what we desire will lead us to the desired destination. This teaches us the importance of not giving up in the face of challenges and continuing to move forward one step at a time. Number two, stability and security. Tortoises are also symbols of stability and security. Their shell provides protection and security, allowing them to face external threats with calmness and serenity. When we receive the message of the tortoise, we're invited to cultivate our inner stability and find security in our foundations. This allows us to face life's challenges with confidence and determination, knowing that we're capable of overcoming them successfully. Number three, longevity and wisdom. Tortoises are also known for their longevity and wisdom. They live for many years and accumulate vast experience over the course of their lives. When we receive the message of the tortoise, we're invited to reflect on our life and the lessons we've learned along the way. It teaches us the importance of learning from our experiences and applying the wisdom gained in making future decisions. In summary, when we receive the message of the tortoise, we're invited to follow its example of patience, persistence, and stability. It reminds us that even though progress may be slow, each step forward brings us closer to our goals. This allows us this allows us to live a more authentic and meaningful life where we face challenges and confidence and serenity, knowing that we're capable of overcoming them with determination and patience. Okay? That is a very, very, very beautiful message. All right. So remember, patience is power with the tortoise. All right. Patience is power. All right. So let's move on, Libra, to the general tarot reading. All right. We got the general tarot reading, and then following, we're gonna have the financial, and then we're gonna end off with the love reading. Okay. So we are starting off with bum bum bum, the Queen of Wands. Okay, so this is water and fire. The Queen represents water, and the fire is represented by the Wands. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. Affectionately known as the witchiest witch of the deck, right? With the staff and the signet ring and um the black, typically it's a black cat, right? And we already know everybody hate black cats except for witches, right? Right? So what can I say? You glowing up, right? When the Queen of Wands pop up, it's saying you gotta own your own flame, right? Remember, fire isn't stagnant, right? Remember, fire can be suffocated, right? Remember, fire needs all the other elements to move. Why do you think it's represented by wands, right? The reason why it's represented by wands is because when you go to a campfire, you get the best fire from wood, nice cured wood, right? Um, Pausington, but you can't get a good fire with leaves, right? No, 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 no. You can't get a good fire with little bitty twigs. No, 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 no. You can't get a good fire with a bunch of notebook paper. No, 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 no. That ain't gonna work, right? So with that principle, now think about the staff or the wand, right? And remember, the staff or the wand is there for not only support but defense, but also is used to project energy. Remember, they tell us that wood is not a great conductor of energy. That is bull crap. It's certain types of energy, electricity, right? However, why do you think it's possible for humans to hug trees and we use wood as magical wands, right? Wood is actually a great conductor of energy. It just depends on what the energy is, right? And I don't want to get into a physics discussion, so that's why I'm pulling back, right? So so when you're looking at the Queen of Wands, right? You gotta own your flame again. You being called to lead, inspire, and show up fully. Remember, when you're talking about your charisma, your voice, and your light, it's not really much that you got to say or do, right? And the reason why I say that is because um your presence is enough, right? The Queen of Wands, the King of Wands lead by example. Now, the King of Wands might be a little bit more vocal, of course, right? But in any case, remember that again, uh, your presence is going to be enough. The whole thing about show up and show out, right? Everything that you do, you put your best foot forward in. So with and it what when you have that mindset that everything I touch turns to gold, there is nothing to hold you back. That's why she is always pictured with a sunflower because there's a there's something about being able to project energy here. Remember, like I said, the fire energy is always moving. It's not stagnant. It's not worried about shoulda, coulda, woulda. You understand what I'm saying? So we got two more cards to get to. So I'm gonna shut up, y'all. All right. So next we have the Eight of Cups, and I will circle back to the Queen in a minute. Okay. So In order to rise, right, the Eight of Cups is you walking away. It's not in defeat, but it's in evolution. The current emotional landscape you have outgrown. Listen to what I'm saying. When this card pop up, it means that the current emotional state is outgrown. So with that being said, don't look at this as abandoning the things that you worked hard for to achieve, etc., etc. That's not what this card is about. You see, these cups are in a actual order, right? Where they're leading to a point. So he's looking for two more cups. So he's looking to clear the blockages, right? To allow the emotions to flow, right? Which is the water here, so he can truly be in tune with what? With fulfillment, right? This is a 9 year, right? Ain't Libra the ninth sign? Nine is the year of fulfillment, right? So he's in search of fulfillment. He's not necessarily starting over, but my thing is that once a football player win MVP, right? He take the trophy home, he shine it up, he put it in a case, and now it's time to go win another one. And that is what the Eight of Cups is saying, is that we're gotta be in pursuit. We gotta constantly be working towards that MVP. All right. Now remember what I just said about the Queen? And then hold on to this Eight of Cups, and then what do we have here? Another Wands card, right? And now it's the Ace of Wands here. Let me scoot this over. Now I hope y'all starting to catch on to what I'm putting down right now. And if not, let's continue to build. So when we're looking at the Ace of Wands, remember the Ace is the number one card of the suit, so it symbolizes beginnings. Remember, every dimension is built off of the previous one, so one is a divine number. Don't let them say one is nothing, because without you being a whole one, you can't be a whole half to make another one, meaning you and your partner coming together, or you and your best friend, or you and your business partner, or whatever, right? Remember about showing up and showing out, right? When you show up in the world, people expect you to be 100%. Unless you don't show up, unless you advocate for yourself, people would never know what's going on internally with you. And here with the full moon is a time for you to reflect on the things that, okay, I'm done with this. Now it's time to add more. Okay? We got to be in pursuit, man. Now, one thing that I will make notice of is that even though that Eight of Cups is a cup card, it still has a wand in it. Aha. Very, very tricky, my friend. So here we actually have 10, not 10 wands, I'm sorry. We have three wands. I'm sorry. I said 10. I was thinking about the cups. I was thinking about the cups. We have three wands here, right? And remember, the wands is a symbol of fire, right? The I statement for fire is what? I want, I desire. So you, under the full moon right now, Libra, is calling for you to reflect and look at yourself objectively, right? Meaning that how somebody else would look at you with no personal attachment, nothing. Like a therapist or a friend that you was venting to, like how would they look at it? Because remember, when somebody tell you a story, you be in the back of your head like, I wonder what you did, or I wonder what you ain't telling me, or et cetera, right? So if we could start looking at ourselves like that, then the matters of the wands of us projecting the energy, being out to go and achieve what we want and what we need, we'll never have a problem. It'll never be a problem. But the reason why we got those big rocks here in this Eight of Cups card is because we need to use our desires to clear the emotional blockages. The moon is going to reflect your intentions, right? It's kind of like hitting when you send your intentions up, boom, bounces it back, kind of like a satellite or like a. You ever seen when when they showed a light on on a cartoon and it went through a prism and then it refracted in seven lights and all of that other stuff. Same thing here. Same thing here. Same concept under the full moon. So that's why he's dressed ritualistically, right? Or she in this case, right? Because we tapped into the divine feminine. Happy 20 on the clock. Happy Mother's Day, right? Um, Whether you're a male or a female, you can always be tapped into the right brain. All right. And if you don't know, go ahead and do a quick Google search, right? But again, the ritual under the full moon is calling for us to use our desires to clear the emotional blockages so the water can have a clear path. So we can figure out what it is truly bring us fulfillment in life, Libra. So unfortunately, I know that this probably was very good and you didn't want this reading to end, but it's over. I'm sorry. Peace, love, health, and wealth. Anything else, put it back on the shelf. I'm just joking, y'all. I'm just joking. It's not I'm just joking. It's not over. It's not over. But in closing though, I just want to say that just as you go out on pursuitment of another task, right? Because that's how I look at the Eight of Cups. I'm going out to pursue another task, right? Look, yeah, I know. I'm going out on another journey. That's what that Eight of Cups is, right? And yes, these things no longer serve you, but it's really less emotional, right? It's like new things get old. It's not like I'm not proud of these cups, right? Because remember, this card represents a person in a sacred space. So those cups is not something that's being buried and thrown away. But remember, we're looking to complete the pyramid. Okay. So just as you're embarking on a new path, boom, here comes a spark. This new energy, new life, a creative opportunity, a spiritual calling, a passionate beginning, say yes. And that's all I'm going to say. The Ace of Wands is telling you to say yes. Why? So we can go full circle and become that Queen of Pentacles, fulfillment. Huh? Fall in love with the journey all over again. Circle of life. KP not playing. KP is not playing. Libra, the moon is a portal. Remember I said you send the light up and it refracts it out? You send white light up and it's going to refract it to all the light in the visible light spectrum and not. Remember that. All right, that's very important. Um, the queen reminds you of who you are. The eight asks, "Are you ready to move forward?" And the eight says, "Here is the fire for a fresh start. Let go, light up, and lead the way, Libra." All right. Um, let's move on to the financial reading. Libra. Look, Libra. Y'all was like, no, we want more cars for the collective reading. I hear y'all. No, nope, it's over with. Why? Because it's time to really light that fire under that. Yeah, KP really about to light the fire under that, Libra. All right, so now it's time to move on to the financial reading here. And in the financial realm, we have the Six of Cups, okay? So remember, the six is representation of love, harmony, peace, all of that good stuff. This card is the nostalgia card. Let's go ahead and point that out, right? But it's only a nostalgia card because it's the six in cups. So it is really like a double love card, right? Um, Healing energy, what I like to call loving, nurturing, healing energy for the mind, body, and spirit, right? Um, so when we talking about the Six of Cups, right? And remember, the I statement for cups or the water element is I love, I feel, or I love. This is the return to joy, okay? Maybe even a return to an old dream. A past project, skill, or connection could bring you abundance back into your life. This could be you telling stories of the past, right? Don't ignore nostalgic nudges. The idea you shift, it might be your golden ticket. Hint, hint. Also keep in mind on reconnections right now. A gift from the past is trying to find you. All right. So let's move on to the love oracle card. Yeah, now I hope y'all picking up what I'm putting down now when I'm talking about these transitions in these cards. Remember something from the past. So there's no coincidence that we go from the collective reading to the financial reading that had the Six of Cups. And then I don't know that song, by the way. And then we get the time card and the love reading. What's going on, Libra? What's going on? That's what I need to know. Y'all gonna have to hit me up. Like KP, I need some free consultations and drop the T on KP. You hear me? I like lemon balm chai. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But yeah, I like all types of tea. All right, all types of tea. Drop a couple little drops of vanilla in there for me, right? So when we talking about time, right? Waiting cycles and moments. All right. Waiting cycles and moments. This divine timing is at play right now. If love feels like it's on pause, trust the greater rhythm. Trust the greater rhythm. You're not behind. You're recalibrating. You're aligning with the stars. Let love unfold naturally, without pressure, without force. Listen, whether single or partner or somewhere in between, trust that timing is not only right, it's sacred. So, in closing, I just want to say that the full moon is a mirror, okay? It's asking you, are you willing to release the old and receive the fire. Okay? So we use the water to wash out the emotions, right? To clear the way. But then we use the fire to charge full steam ahead. Say it with me one more time. I am shedding old layers. I am becoming my true self. Let it echo through your week. Let it change you. Again, write these affirmations down. Post them on your mirror. Screenshot them. Put it on your screensaver. Huh? Glue it. I know, listen, most adults be in and out their car 6, 7, 8 times a day. Post it on your steering wheel, right? Subtle reminders. It's it's magic and subtle reminders. You reprogramming the subconscious with subtle reminders. So if you made a lot of changes a while back, now you got to go back and pick up and see if those old dreams are relevant, or do you have war stories to tell about the past? This for you. This is what I'm picking up, right? But let me get back on track. Again, let these affirmations echo throughout the week, okay? If this message resonated with you, then make sure you drop some hearts, something. Let me know in the comments, right? I need interactions. I love the interactions, right? You know what they be saying? Hype me up. Hype me up. Y'all testimonies is what be hyping me up. The affirmations that y'all, when y'all give me testimonies and confirmations, that's affirmations for me. You get what I'm saying? It go full circle. So, um, closing, right? And the reason why I closed the way I did is because I wanted to zero back in on this time card, right? Um, Again, remember, time itself can be a trophy, right? When you're talking about pentacles, even though it wasn't no pentacles here in this reading, pentacles represents anything that you deem valuable on the third dimension, okay? So, again, when you're talking about time, waiting, cycles, and moments, in the grand scheme of things, the only thing we're gonna have is moments, right? Um, Science says we're only gonna remember about 30% of all the information we take in per day. Now think about all the information that you take in just by walking to your local convenience store or just driving to the nearest grocery store. You seeing people, you seeing houses, you seeing grass, You seeing the sun, you seeing clouds, right? You seeing your gas, you seeing the police, you seeing all of these things, right? And and you're not realizing that because most of these things are not threats to you or they are not relevant to your journey, right? And so this is proof to me that as we go through these cycles, we gotta take time, right? And we can't force things. We can't we can't we can't force them, right? Even if it's waiting until the full moon to see if I can get a reflection, right? See if the full moon can give me some insight. Whatever it takes, we got to be on a pursuit of happiness. All of these cards today was all about the pursuit of happiness, right? And on the pursuit of happiness, we can't worry about what could go wrong. We can't worry about who she said and he said and all of that stuff. We can't worry about, well, what if I forget to pay this bill, or what if if I have too many employees and they don't respect me. We're not worried about that. Go ahead and start that business, right? Oh, what if I don't get any clients? What if I don't get any viewers? Go ahead and post that video, right? But remember, we can't keep having the same cycles of wasted time. Even if we're waiting for the right moment, that's not time wasted, because at least we have intention and a direction we're moving in, right? So now we just have to work on something else in the other moments until this one thing come in. You understand what I'm saying? So, um, most of us are octopuses, but what are we using our tentacles for, right? And with that being said, um, I would like the Libras. I would like to thank the Libras for tuning in today. I got 3 more videos. I don't remember which ones. I don't know. I don't know which ones. I think I got no. I think I did Aries already. Gemini did Gemini. I don't know, but I got 3 more videos to do. So, like I said, even if you don't resonate as the sun sign, right? All these signs is definitely in you or around you or both, right? Because just because it's not our sun sign, that doesn't mean that that planet or that constellation disappears, right? It's just most people don't really think about the eighth house or the seventh house or the ninth house or the 12th house, right? They only think about the first house or the second house or the third house. And then sometimes the eighth house, which is, I think, Venus, right? The love. That's it. People care about sun sign, moon sign, rising sign, and the love sign. Every once in a while, you get somebody who talk about house and home or all that other stuff, right? But anyways, man, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna reset these decks. Yes, I said day DEKS, right? I said day like I'm speaking Spanish. DEKCKS, right? Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and clean these decks and reset them and get ready for the next one. So, Leo, I want to thank you on behalf of Sacred Self Healing Center with a heart. It's the center for healing. If you know what I'm about to say it with me in your Mickey Mouse voice. Peace, love, health, and wealth. Anything else, put it back on the shelf. Why? Because we ain't buying it, right? As the Vibe Tribe, we're not buying it. So that means if you got any BS that you trying to sell me with your cool little Burger King hat, and you walk around with this Burger King crown, and you got your shirt tucked in and all this cool stuff with your loafers and your Dockers on, and you trying to sell me something I don't want. And let me tell you something. When I talk about stuff I don't want, it's the opposite of peace, love, health, and wealth. Just in case if you confused, okay? So next time somebody come at you with some energy, we just ain't even gonna respond. We just gonna say peace, love, health, and wealth to you in our head, and then we're gonna walk away, right? And then we're gonna picture 4 green hearts dancing around that person's head as it shake peace, love, health, and wealth until they spill it through their aura. All right. So with that being said, man, it's been an honor and a pleasure to be of service to you. All right. So peace, love, health, and wealth. Anything else, put it back on the shelf because we ain't buying it. Peace. Bye bye.